Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Altcoin Disrupt, and today we're going to go through some of the latest news in the crypto market. It's actually been quite crazy, to be honest. Japan aims to force stablecoin issuers to register as banks. Under the proposed law, Japan would ban stablecoin issued by companies like Tether and Circle if they fail to register. So this is actually recent news. This is actually a really interesting part that the Japanese governments are taking up against stablecoins, cryptocurrency to be specific, especially stablecoins that are heavily centralized. They want those stablecoins to be banks, which is extremely fascinating. And I think in a way it makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of money that is in stablecoin, like billions of dollars are in stablecoins. Naturally, the government wants that money as banks to support their economy. It just makes more sense. Japan's Financial Service Agent said on Monday that it seeks to limit the issuance of stablecoins to banks and wire transfer companies in 2022, according to reports from Nikkei Asia. Now, the FSA said limiting the issuance of stablecoins to banks and wire transfer companies will help to mitigate risk, as those companies are legally obligated to protect customers' assets. This would mean that companies such as Tether wouldn't be able to issue stablecoins to Japanese companies and users unless they register as banks or wire transfer providers. Regulators in the US are also pushing for similar requirements. As of Tuesday afternoon, stablecoins had a total market cap of $160 billion and had done $80 billion in trading volume over the past 24 hours alone. Stablecoins are doing over $80 billion in trading volume in the past 24 hours. That's beyond what anyone thought was possible for cryptocurrency. Let's just take a moment to admire what that means. That's absolutely incredible. Now, although its dominance has fallen gradually over 2021, Tether USDT today accounts for 50% of stablecoin market, followed by the US dollar coin, the USDC, at 27%, and Binance USD, BUSD, at 9%. Now, as for Tether, it's been under investigation by US officials for its claims that all its stablecoins are backed by US dollar reserves. The company later said that a portion of its reserve are commercial paper or short-term corporate debts. In September, as China property developer Evergrande struggles to make its debt payment to 171 domestic banks and 121 other financial firms. Tether said it did not hold any of the company's debts. Now, according to Nikkei Asia, the FSA also plans to bring intermediaries in cryptocurrency transactions, like wallet providers, under its oversight. Under the new arrangements, companies that facilitate transactions will be required to verify identity for their users and report suspicious activity to the FSA to prevent money laundering. Meanwhile, there's been talks that a group of 70 Japanese companies, including its top banks, will test their own bank's deposit-backed digital currency next year. Tests for the stablecoins, which is being referred to as DCJPY. Now, the Digital Currency Forum, which is heading up the efforts, includes MUFG Bank, Mizuho Bank, and Japan Post Bank, but the FSA and Bank of Japan has said they will be on hand only as observers during the tests. So this is obviously really interesting, and I think this will set a very important precedent for other countries to do. Other countries such as countries in Europe, such as the UK, France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, the list goes on, and companies in the Americas as well, such as Canada, Alaska, America, Mexico. There are certain countries that see cryptocurrency as a good thing or a bad thing or something that they could either control or something that should not be controlled. So it's going to set an interesting wave in the world of how we can actually govern cryptos. And allow me to tell you that this is exactly how it will start. They will start by covering the cryptos that can be covered. Tether is the biggest stablecoin in the world by market cap. There's no doubt about it. Now, obviously, Tether being a stablecoin, USDT, it's currently $1 per coin as a stablecoin. That's actually really interesting. Now, like we were talking about before, the 24 hours trading period. Currently on CoinGecko, 24 hours trading period is 65.9 billion in a given 24 hours trading period. That is beyond incredible. Market cap is 77 billion. Not just that, but it's actually ranked as the 4th biggest crypto in the world by market cap. This is incredible. This is above Solana. Solana currently sits at 58 billion in market cap, currently sits at 5th in the world. It's really interesting. Cardano is at 6. You got Polkadot at 9, Terra at 10. You've actually got Avalanche at 12. Avalanche been doing absolutely incredible as of late, and that's really good to see. Now, to be honest, the crypto market has been in a little bit of a turmoil in recent days, to be honest. There's been panic all over the place because people are saying that Bitcoin has crashed. And here's the thing, I don't necessarily think it was a crash. You know, Bitcoin going from a price around 56, 57, sometimes it was above 58,000 per Bitcoin. That's incredible. And actually went down to 46. So it dropped from around 57 to 46. That's losing around 11,000 per coin. Basically, in my perspective, what that means is that Bitcoin just became extremely cheap for a short period of time, because it's obviously going back up right now as we speak. Maybe it's just me being naive, because after all, we're still not used to Bitcoin being over $50,000 per coin consistently. But the amount of companies that are invested in Bitcoin is absolutely incredible. So I don't think Bitcoin is ever going to go back to like 10,000 or 5,000. But in my mind, when Bitcoin does crash, it's almost like I'm expecting it to lose at least 30% of its market cap, 30% of its volume. You know, it wasn't too long ago that Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, admitted that he is invested in Bitcoin personally, which is really incredible to see. You've got so many people who are invested in Bitcoin. It's absolutely amazing to see. You're looking at Jack Dorsey, the Winklevoss twins, Elon Musk being one of probably the most famous person to invest in crypto, Mark Cuban, the list goes on to Vitalik Buterin. No surprise there, as he's the one who created Ethereum. He is one of the founding members of the world of crypto because he created the second biggest crypto of all time. I mean, can you disagree with that? We've got other huge names in the world that are invested in Bitcoin. And even more interestingly is some of the companies that are investing in Bitcoin, such as MicroStrategy, Tesla, Galaxy Digital Holdings, Voyager Digital Ltd. Square is invested in Bitcoin. Payment firm Square purchased approximately 4,709 Bitcoins for an aggregate price of $50 million in October 2020. That was last year, over a year ago, and acquired an additionally 3,318 Bitcoin for $170 million in February 2021. The average price of all its Bitcoin purchase is $27,000 per average price. That's absolutely incredible. Other companies as well, such as Coinbase Global, obviously. Marathon Digital is actually a Bitcoin mining company, and there's actually plenty of Bitcoin mining companies such as Canon as well. And when I say Canon, I'm not talking about the picture. I'm not talking about the camera manufacturer. I'm talking about the Bitcoin miner. Riot Blockchain is also another Bitcoin mining company. And yeah, there's just plenty more companies and plenty more big names that are invested in Bitcoin. This is Canon Creative. They manufacture Bitcoin mining machines. They mine Bitcoin. They also mine Bitcoin, and they also hold Bitcoin as well. It's absolutely incredible. Now, in additional news, the CIA confirms the rumors. It's really working on a cryptocurrency project. Now, the CIA might not be invented Bitcoin as conspiracy theories claims, but it runs several crypto projects, says Director William Burns. So in brief, the CIA Director William Burns was asked about the CIA's involvement in combating ransomware. He said his predecessor stated several different projects focus on cryptocurrency. Wade into Reddit and you'll discover conspiracy theories claiming that Tom Hanks, I'm not going to say that word, kingpin, Bill Gates inserted microchips into coronavirus vaccines, and the CIA invented Bitcoin. Well, as it turns out, the CIA is involved in cryptocurrencies after all, even if it didn't invent Bitcoin. Well, the really amazing thing about Bitcoin is that anyone could have invented Bitcoin. Like, seriously. What Bitcoin stands for, I think someone who invented Bitcoin clearly do not like banks or governments. I don't think that sounds like the CIA anyway, so I think the Federal Reserve would have something to say about what the CIA invents if it did in fact invent Bitcoin. Anyway, now during the Wall Street Journal CEO Summit yesterday, Central Intelligence Agency Director William Burns admitted that the CIA has multiple projects to keep track of cryptocurrency. Responding to questions about whether the intelligence agency was able to constrain emanating from onboards, Burns said his predecessor had set in motion a number of different projects focused on cryptocurrency and trying to look at a second or third order consequences, as well as helping with other colleagues in other parts of the US government to provide solid intelligence on what we're seeing. Now, as for ransomware, it's a type of malicious software designed to shut down a computer or network until a payment is received, often in Bitcoin or privacy coins such as Monero. Now, attacks this year have shut down a major oil pipeline, meant processing plants and business IT infrastructure. The Biden administration in June labeled ransomware a priority and said it would use cryptocurrency tracking to address it. Burns didn't clarify which predecessor he was referring to. 5 other people have led the agency, 2 of them in an acting capacity in the last 5 years alone, including John Brennan, Mike Pompeo, Cohen, who President Biden picked as acting director from January to March of this year, is a transplant from the Treasury Department who oversaw the Office of Foreign Assets Control and Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, both of which have cautioned companies against facilitating ransomware payments. So in other words, he's exactly the sort of person who would get the CIA gathering intelligence on cryptocurrency. So there you go. So that was some of the most important parts about this, about what the CIA is working on. And like they said, they have several projects involving, and I'm guessing one of their main areas of focus is not just Bitcoin, but Monero as well. Monero is extremely, extremely private. To the absolute extreme, it's even more private than Bitcoin, which is why a lot of people use it for various different reasons. So there you go. And in today's conversation, we've had a couple of coins popped up, of course, notably Bitcoin, of course, and Monero, of course. But as for now, I think Bitcoin is doing just fine. I think what it went through was not necessarily a crash, in my opinion. It was a huge dip, of course, losing over 11,000 when it comes to the price of the coin. Yes, that's a huge fall, but I don't necessarily think it's a big deal, because notably a few months ago, we're talking like at the end of September, Bitcoin was around 41,000 and it was in the 40,000 area for quite some time, for a good period of that month. Even in the middle of the month, it was around 45, 47, 48, going down to around 42, 43. It's been all over the place. So I don't think there's a need for panic. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to see more. Remember to join our Discord. A link is in the description below. Thank you for watching, and of course, I will see you in my next video.